Hi guys, this is Ideas of Ice and Fire. I said in another video that I didn't buy Season 6 of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray, which was a first for me because I always buy them on Blu-ray ever since the first season because I am a huge fan of A Song of Ice and Fire. And when I found out that they were making Game of Thrones, they were making A Song of Ice and Fire into a TV show, I was a little bit nervous, but after that first season, oh my god, I was walking on sunshine. It cured all my nervousness. It cured all my fears. I was so happy that they did A Song of Ice and Fire and they actually did it right. I was thinking in my head, these are the guys that can do it. David and Dan, these are the guys that can do it, and they can do it well, and they're staying faithful to the novels, which never happens, and I was so over the freaking moon. And you said, I remembered that feeling, and I was like, I can't just not complete my collection of Blu-rays. So I went out, and I got Season 6 of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray. I gave them more money. I did it. Because I like to listen to the commentary sometimes, and I like to see the behind the scenes and how they do, the CGI effects and all that. But I gave them more money, and I was giving it another watch. I was watching it, and then we got to Dorne again. And I saw Dorne Martell die, and I just couldn't. I turned it off. I couldn't. So my Season 6 will probably not get watched. I'll probably never touch that again unless I'm watching it with somebody else that just hasn't seen it. I'll probably never touch that again. Dorne, everything about Dorne in the show was terrible. The acting was terrible. With the exclusion of a few people, the guy that played Arya Hotah was alright. Dorne Martell was good for what they gave him. And I mean, that guy is a good actor. I had a nerdgasm when I found out that Dr. Bashir from Star Trek Deep Space Nine was going to be on Game of Thrones. Are you kidding me? I freaking lost it. Because I'm a huge Star Trek fan as well. But then you got Illyria Sand, who was fine. She was absolutely fine in like the 5th season with Oberyn. She was absolutely fine. And then you get to the 5th season and it's like, what? And then you get to the 6th season and it's like, what? They made it worse? How the heck did they make it worse? I mean, Dorne was already terrible in the 5th season. Like, that plot made no freaking sense whatsoever, and still doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the freak happened. Like, how did they end up on the boat to kill the prince exactly? And also, they're killing their own kin, so that also makes no sense. I get that you want to kill Marcella because she's Cersei's daughter, but that's also a silly move, to be honest. It would make more sense to marry Trystane to Marcella. That would give them a hold on like the political influence in King's Landing more so than anything, but they chose to kill Trystane, which makes no sense whatsoever. They chose to kill Marcella, which kind of makes sense but doesn't at the same time. And then they chose to kill Doran, which makes no sense at all. I'm Illyria Sand, and I'm the concubine of, well, I was the concubine of Oberyn, and, he was your brother, and he died under a perfectly legal trial by combat, so now I'm gonna murder you! Yay, that solves everything! Yay! And you know what? I am a liberal. I don't shy away from that terminology. I mean, I don't believe a lot of the things that come out of the left. I'm more of an independent, but I don't shy away from the term liberal. If that's what you want to call me, I am a liberal. But, Season 6 of Game of Thrones really had this theme of, the women killing off all the men and taking over. You had Cersei, who killed the High Sparrow and took over King's Landing. You got Daenerys, who killed all the cows and, took over all Dothraki. Those make sense for the most part. Like, those two make sense. But what doesn't make sense is the bastard Illyria Sand. And bastards aren't treated the same way in Dorne as they are in the rest of Westeros. But at the same time, she has no claim. No claim whatsoever. It made no sense. And the way Arya Hotah dies, that makes no sense. One of the most formidable fighters in the entire freaking whole shebang. One of the most formidable fighters. Like, there's a scene in A Feast for Crows where, just read it, he takes out this dude so easily. A trained member of the King's Guard. And Arya Hotah takes him out. He's like, yeah, I'm executing you just like that. It's like an execution. That's how clean he kills this guy. And then in the show, it's just like, oh, you got poked in the back and you're dead. Dorne Martell is dead, and now we're just gonna take over because the thing is, the Dothraki cows, they were awful people. The High Sparrow was an awful person. He deserved to die. Doran Martell was a good ruler, and he was a good person, and he had a plan. He didn't deserve to die like that. See, what happened, let me tell you what happened. They half-assed it in season 5, and everybody hated it. Of course, everyone's gonna hate it when you have lines like, you want a good girl, but you need a bad pussy. Of course, everyone's gonna hate that crap. And so when they got to season 6, they were like, oh, everyone hated it, so let's just do this. And that just damages the show as a whole. Instead of like fixing it by just killing it off, you could I don't know. I don't know. It's just upsetting to me. I guess at that point it was beyond repair because Dorne in season 5 was so bad, and you think they can't make it worse. They can't possibly make it worse, could they? I'm glad they only showed it for like a limited amount of time in season 6, because if there had been more of Dorne in season 6, I think I would have lost it. I think I would have like thrown a brick at my freaking television and just lost it, honestly. Like I said before, Dorne is a culture in the books where men and women can work together to achieve their goals. And even in the books, there's the character Arya Martell, who is Dorne's daughter, and she's next in line to rule. She will rule after he dies. And that's fine. Everyone totally accepts it. There's no need to kill him so that women can rule. Weak men will never rule Dorne again. Oh my god, Illyria Sand. They took a character that I liked in the book. She wasn't like my favorite character, like, oh my god, she's so awesome or anything. But they took a character that I liked in the book and completely changed her motivation and turned her into a character that I freaking hated. Like, in the books, like, the Sand Snakes are thinking about retaliation, and Illyria Sand is literally like, no more bloodshed. She's literally the one that's saying, no, we gotta stop this. This isn't what Oberyn would have wanted. And she's so right, because Oberyn definitely would not have wanted his brother to be killed. But yeah, she's not, like, I don't get her motivation in the show whatsoever. And, it's just, I hate her. Like, I don't know if there's a character that I hate more than Illyria Sand right now. Ramsay Bolton was evil, but he's like lovable evil. He'll flay you and like set you on fire and stuff like that. But she just thinks she's so cool and so smart and so sneaky, and she thinks she's doing everything for the good of the entire realm when you're not. You're really just screwing everything up, and I hate you, and I want you to die in the most awful way imaginable. I freaking hate you. All the Sand Snakes were terrible. The acting with all the Sand Snakes was terrible. Like, from season 5, the moment they were on screen, the acting was terrible. The combat is just laughable. Laughable combat. It's like Xena Warrior Princess. No, I take that back. Because Xena Warrior Princess had freaking better combat. It did. So, it's just, I hate what they did to Dorne. And if you want to know what happens in Dorne, read The Feast for Crows, because it's way better. People criticize Feast for Crows because, Daenerys isn't in it and Tyrion isn't in it. But screw that, because the Dorne storyline in A Feast for Crows is good. Don't listen to what anybody says. It's good. It's really, really, really freaking good. And I understood from the beginning that they wouldn't be able to tell that entire story in Game of Thrones, but I expected some, amalgamation of that freaking story. I didn't expect them to completely create this god dang abomination. It's an abomination. That's what it is. It's a freaking abomination. Ah! And also, Dorne is not just the Water Gardens. I'm like, can we leave the Water Gardens for like a split freaking second? Because, Dorne is freaking, huge. There are multiple cities. You know that, right? And there's like a vast desert. You know that, right? Did they even read it? Did they even read A Feast for Crows? I'm questioning whether or not they even read A Feast for Crows or A Dance with Dragons. Maybe they just skimmed over it and read fan theories. Because it seems to me that season 6 was just a bunch of freaking fan theories. And judging by the leaks on season 7, that's exactly what it's gonna be too. So I hope everybody's freaking excited for more crap. Because that's exactly what it's gonna be. Crap! Just like season 6. Well, had to get that out. So, yeah. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Peace out, guys. Like and subscribe for more ideas of Ice and Fire.